Hello family, welcome to Stories by Rain. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment, and share this video with your friends and loved ones. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss my future videos. Thank you so much for your support. Let us dive into part 4 of the story. Ming tried to change the subject, his gaze falling on the unopened envelope he had left months ago. "Marina," he said gently, "I noticed you haven't touched the account I set up for you. That money is there for you and the baby. Why aren't you using it?" Marina wiped her eyes, her voice soft but resolute. "I don't need it, Ming. I have enough for now. When I need it, I'll use it." Ming frowned. "That money isn't just for emergencies. It's for your peace of mind. You have enough to worry about already. I don't want finances to be part of it. Please, promise me you'll use it if you need anything." Marina nodded reluctantly. "I promise." Ming lingered at the door before leaving, his hand resting on the frame as he turned back to Marina. "While I'm away, please, do everything you can to keep you and the baby safe. I'll do everything I can to keep Bolan safe where he is." Marina searched his face, sensing there was more he wasn't saying. "Ming, is there something else? Something you're not telling me?" Ming froze, his mind racing. He had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times, trying to decide if he should tell her the truth. If Marina knew about Bolan's marriage to Leon, it could crush her, but keeping it from her felt like a betrayal. "It's nothing," Ming said finally, forcing a small smile. "When the dust settles, I'll tell Bolan about his son. And then you'll all be together." Marina nodded, though her eyes were filled with doubt. "You promise?" Ming hesitated for the briefest moment before nodding. "I promise." As Ming boarded the plane back to China the next morning, he couldn't shake the image of Marina's face. The hope mingled with pain, the unspoken question she didn't dare ask. He clenched his fists, the weight of his choices pressing down on him like a physical burden. As the plane soared above the clouds, Ming made a silent vow. "When this is over, I'll make it right. I'll tell them everything. Until then, I have to carry this weight alone." Back in China, Bolan greeted him with a sharp look. "You were gone longer than I expected. Is everything all right?" Ming avoided his gaze. "Everything's fine. Marina's safe." Ming's stomach twisted. "She's managing well. You don't need to worry." Bolan nodded, satisfied, but Ming's guilt only grew. He had kept so much from both Marina and Bolan, and the web of lies was tightening around him. He told himself it was for their safety, but the truth felt far more complicated. Leon had always been her father's most loyal ally. She had seen men grovel before him, beg for his favor, and crumble under his wrath. But Bolan was different. He didn't grovel, and he didn't crumble. His calm demeanor, his measured words, and his sharp mind intrigued her in a way she hadn't expected. One evening, as they walked through the sprawling gardens of the Wei estate, Leon broke the silence. "You don't flinch around my father the way others do," she said, her tone light but probing. "Why is that?" Bolan glanced at her, his expression unreadable. "Fear is a currency, Leon. Your father deals in it, and I've learned not to buy." Her lips twitched into a faint smile. "Interesting. Most men would consider that a dangerous gamble." "Most men aren't me," Bolan replied smoothly. Leon's smile lingered as she studied him. There was something about the way he carried himself, quietly confident, yet enigmatic, that made her want to know more. As the days passed, Bolan played his role as the devoted husband with precision. He accompanied Leon to social gatherings, offered charming compliments when required, and even engaged in debates with her about business and politics. It was during one such debate over dinner that Leon saw a glimpse of the man beneath the facade. "You're not like the men my father usually keeps close," Leon remarked, setting down her wine glass. "They parrot his opinions. You challenge them." Blind loyalty is dangerous, Bolan replied. Even your father must know that. Leon leaned forward slightly, her gaze intent. And what about your loyalty? To me? To this marriage? Bolan hesitated for a fraction of a second before answering. My loyalty is to the future we're building together. It was the truth, but not in the way she understood it. Over time, Leon found herself looking forward to her moments with Bolan. There was an ease in their conversations, a rhythm she hadn't experienced with anyone else. He was intelligent, composed, and occasionally even funny in his dry, understated way. One evening, after a gala, they stood on the balcony of their suite overlooking the city. Leon, tired but content, leaned against the railing. It's strange, she said softly. For someone who came into my life so abruptly, you feel familiar. Bolan turned to her, his heart heavy with guilt. Familiar how? Like I've known you longer than I actually have, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. Bolan forced a smile, masking the turmoil within him. Perhaps we were meant to meet. While Leon's feelings for Bolan began to deepen, Bolan wrestled with his own emotions. He couldn't deny his respect for her sharp mind and quiet strength. Despite her loyalty to Jiwan, she wasn't a carbon copy of her father. She was independent, curious, and capable of challenging even Bolan's most carefully constructed arguments. But every time he felt a flicker of connection, Marina's face flashed in his mind. The memory of her laughter, her warmth, and the promise he had made to her weighed on him like a stone. His mission wasn't just about reclaiming the empire. It was about creating a future. One night, as he sat alone in his study, Bolan stared at a photograph he kept hidden in the back of a drawer. It was of Marina, taken during a rare carefree moment in Lagos. He traced the edge of the photo with his thumb, his chest tightening with guilt. I'm sorry, he murmured to the empty room. I'll make this right. I promise. One evening, during a rare quiet moment in their home, Leon entered Bolan's study. She found him staring out the window, his expression distant. You're always so serious, she said, closing the door behind her. Do you ever let yourself relax? Bolan turned to her, forcing a faint smile. Relaxation isn't exactly a luxury I can afford. Leon tilted her head, stepping closer. You carry a weight I don't understand. I can see it in your eyes. Bolan tensed, the layers of his facade threatening to crack. Everyone carries something. And yet you never talk about yours, Leon pressed gently. What are you so afraid of, Bolan? For a moment, Bolan considered telling her the truth about Marina and the dangerous game he was playing, but the risk was too great. Instead, he looked away. I'm afraid of failing. Leon studied him for a long moment, then nodded. You won't fail, not with me by your side. Her words, meant as reassurance, only deepened Bolan's guilt. As Leon's feelings for Bolan grew, her loyalty to her father began to waver. She noticed cracks in Jiwan's facade, his paranoia, his ruthlessness, and the lengths he would go to maintain power. Meanwhile, Bolan's duplicity weighed heavily on him. Each kind word from Leon, each unguarded moment, was a reminder of the betrayal he was orchestrating. One evening, after a tense dinner with Jiwan, Leon confronted Bolan. You're hiding something from me, she said, her voice firm. I don't know what it is yet, but I will find out. Bolan met her gaze, his heart pounding. Be careful where you look, Leon. You might not like what you find. Her eyes narrowed slightly, but she said nothing more. As she turned and walked away, Bolan exhaled, the tension in his chest threatening to suffocate him. Leon's suspicion had been growing for weeks. She had watched Bolan with the eyes of a hawk. His measured words, the careful way he navigated her father's world, the occasional flicker of something guarded in his expression. He was too perfect, too composed. And then there were the late-night disappearances, the hushed conversations with Ming, and the inconsistencies in his stories. One evening, while Bolan was out meeting a supplier, Leon seized the opportunity to investigate. She combed through his study with meticulous precision, searching for anything out of place. At first, there was nothing, a testament to Bolan's careful planning. But just as she was about to give up, she found it, a hidden drawer in his desk, its lock easily bypassed with one of her hairpins. Inside was a photograph, tucked beneath a stack of papers. Leon's breath caught as she pulled it out. The image was of a beautiful woman, her smile radiant. The back of the photograph bore a simple inscription, "Marina, my heart, my future." Leon stared at the picture, her mind reeling. The puzzle pieces began to fall into place. Bolan's loyalty, his motives, his frequent absences. It was all connected to this woman. Her hands trembled as she placed the photograph back, her heart pounding in her chest. That night, Bolan returned to find Leon waiting for him in their private quarters. She stood by the window, her silhouette framed by the moonlight, the tension in the room palpable. "You're late," she said without turning to face him. "Business took longer than expected," Bolan replied evenly, removing his jacket. "Is something wrong?" Leon finally turned, her eyes piercing. "Who is Marina?" The question hit him like a punch to the gut. Bolan froze, his mind racing for an explanation, but the look on Leon's face told him there was no point in lying. "Where did you hear that name?" he asked cautiously. "I found the photograph," she said, her voice steady but edged with steel. "So don't insult my intelligence by pretending she doesn't exist." Bolan's jaw tightened. He took a step closer, his hands clenched at his sides. "What do you want to know?" "The truth," Leon demanded. "All of it. Who is she? And what are you really doing here?" For a moment, silence hung between them, heavy and unyielding. Then Bolan exhaled, the weight of his secrets pressing down on him. "Marina is the woman I love." Leon's expression didn't falter, but her voice wavered. "You married me to get to my father." "Yes," Bolan admitted, his voice filled with quiet regret. "But not for power, and not for revenge. I'm here to take back what he stole from my family, to reclaim the empire my parents built with their blood and sacrifice." Leon spun to face him, her eyes blazing. "And you think I'll just let you destroy everything my father built?" "What has he really built, Leon?" Bolan asked, his voice rising. "A network of lies, corruption, and fear? Do you know how many lives he's destroyed? How many families he's torn apart to maintain his power?" Leon's hands shook as she stared at him. "He's still my father." "And you're not him," Bolan said firmly. "You're better than him. I've seen it." Leon's mind raced as she processed his words. Her father had always been a pillar in her life, strong, unyielding, and seemingly invincible. But now, cracks were forming in the image she had held onto for so long. The evidence of his corruption, the whispers of fear in the halls, the ruthless way he dealt with dissent, it all aligned with Bolan's accusations. "If I help you," Leon said slowly, her voice laced with uncertainty, "I'll be betraying him." "And if you don't," Bolan countered, "you'll be betraying yourself." Leon's breath caught in her throat. She looked at Bolan, seeing not just a man fighting for his legacy, but a man willing to risk everything for the people he loved. It was something she had never seen in her father, a selflessness that made her question everything she thought she knew. "I need time," she said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. Bolan nodded. "Take all the time you need. But know this, your father won't hesitate to destroy me or Marina if he finds out the truth. You have to decide where you stand, Leon." What did you learn from this story? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications so you never miss an update. Don't forget to share this video with someone who would love it. Thank you so much for watching.